Welcome to United Report, your ultimate source for everything Manchester United. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, we've got you covered with all the updates, transfers, and match highlights you need. If you're a true Red Devil, this is your home. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the world of United together. Ruben Amorim has cast doubt on Tyrell Malacia's long-term future at Manchester United after claiming he lacks the attacking quality to play as a wing-back in his system. The Dutch defender made his fifth start since returning from 18 months out with a knee injury against FCSB on Thursday. But for the fourth time, he was withdrawn at half-time after a difficult evening at the National Arena. Malacia has played left wing-back in all of those matches, but he has looked understandably rusty at times and has found it difficult to influence games in the final third, which is an area Amorim is looking to improve on with players in that position. The 25-year-old is likely to leave Old Trafford on loan before Monday's transfer deadline, with Real Betis one of several clubs interested in offering him the chance to build up his fitness and confidence. His opportunities will become more limited at United, with the imminent arrival of 20-year-old Dane Patrick Dorgu from Lecce. Amorim believes Malacia doesn't currently have the attributes needed to play as a wing-back, and while he hinted at a potential role in the back three, that could only happen when United become a more possession-dominant team. We will see, Amorim said when asked about Malacia's future. What I know is that it's really hard on Malacia. It is a long time without playing, and then it's hard to play a lot of games. A player like him is a fullback. He played with the national team outside and inside, but sometimes in this system, sometimes it's hard for him because he's not so offensive. He can play as one of the three defenders if we have more possession and more control of the games. It's a really difficult context for him. But he's our player, and we are going to help him. Malacia's route to the side could also be complicated by the impending return to fitness of Luke Shaw, who trained at Carrington on Wednesday. He didn't make the squad for the Europa League trip and won't be available to face Crystal Palace either. The 29-year-old has suffered a nightmare 12 months with injury, and he hasn't started for United since February 18th last year, with just 3 substitute appearances under Amorim in November and December before his latest setback. United will now ease Shaw back in, and his first challenge will be to continue to work on his fitness at Carrington. His teammates trained in Bucharest on Friday morning, having stayed over in the city after their late-night Europa League victory, with the game finishing just before midnight local time. It will take a little bit more time, said Amorim. I think he needs to train more, to spend more time with his teammates playing as normal, even small-sided games. Not just working alone. He stayed in Manchester to do a different type of work. He's going to get together with the team when we arrive back in Manchester, and start from there. When I feel it is the right moment, we will start with some minutes in the games. Andre Onana has received huge support from Manchester United great Edwin van der Sar and been told he'll become a key player at the club for years to come. Onana's time at Old Trafford has been punctuated with an incredible save one week and a horror mistake the next. The Cameroonian was at fault when United lost 3-1 at home to Brighton and Hove Albion, spilling a harmless-looking cross from Yacine Ayari, giving Jorginho Rutter an open goal to tap home a third for the Seagulls. Ruben Amorim has so far remained loyal to the shot-stopper, who arrived from Inter Milan as part of a £47.2 million deal in the summer of 2023. Van der Sar, who knows Onana well from their time together at Ajax, believes he will remain United's #1 goalkeeper for a long time, despite his worrying inconsistency since joining. While speaking to Mirror Football at Bet365's Never Ordinary watch-along in London this week, Van der Sar said, "Of course I worked closely with Andre. He was brilliant at Ajax when he started as a young player. He gained experience at the club, and then at Inter. I'm sure with the qualities that he has, the reactions he's going to be, for a long time, Manchester United #1. Onana kept his place between the sticks for United's 1-0 victory over Fulham at Craven Cottage, but was on the bench for the Red Devils' Europa League victories over Rangers and FCSB. The Manchester Evening News recently claimed Amorim wants the Red Devils to sign another goalkeeper to push Onana to another level. The Portuguese manager has used Bayindir in the cup competitions, but the outlet claims the Turkish international is not considered to be a credible rival to Onana. United also have 39-year-old Tom Heaton within their ranks, but the former England international is set to depart the club when his contract expires in the summer. With their goalkeeping situation looking unlikely to change at this present moment, Amorim recently told both of his shot stoppers that the number one space is an open battle between the pair of them. Before United's recent victory over Fulham, Amorim, when asked about his decision to play Bayindir against Rangers, said in a press conference, "It is always an even fight, but this was rotation. It was prepared. I also think about the mistake, and the idea I think about is the message I send to you guys and the fans. The rotation was done, and everything was prepared, and we will deal with that normally. We have two really good goalkeepers, and they need time to play, the space in the team. So this rotation was prepared, but that mistake was my concern, and, in the end, we continue with the same plan that we did last week. I see him in the same way, and he is prepared to help the team in the right way, and that is the most important thing." Despite Onana's struggles in recent weeks, Van der Sar's backing will no doubt give B a confidence booster heading into Sunday's clash with Crystal Palace. Furious Manchester United fans have warned the club hiking up ticket prices threatens to kill off the club's famous loyal support. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his United executives infuriated supporters by raising the minimum ticket price to £66, abolishing concessions for children and pensioners. A survey of 25,000 fans by the FC 58 supporters group revealed 92% of them are angry about the ticket price hike and are concerned over the prospect of subsequent rises in season ticket prices next season. FC 58 said Ratcliffe should instead focus on removing the Glazers from the club and in so doing lift the burden of debt heaped on the club by the reviled American owners, rather than making loyal fans pay the price. Spokesman Steve Compton said, "We received nearly 25,000 responses, plus thousands of comments, and the results speak for themselves, demonstrating clear fan sentiment. We have had enough. In our opinion, the club is trying to price out the current match-going fan to replace them with tourists and day trippers. Legacy fans, the club like to call us, do not spend enough money. We feel the club is hemorrhaging money left, right and centre. The minimum £66 for member tickets is a testing ground for the club and ticket pricing in the future. We believe dynamic pricing is being discussed and on the way. Cutting adrift our club from the community, its working class roots and generational fans represents the ringing of the death knell for fan culture. The simple answer to all this is to remove the Glazers and their debt mountain. Revenue will increase once this happens. But it looks like the new investors are ignoring the millions paid in interest on the Glazers' bad debt per year. They prefer to squeeze as much money out of the match-going fan base than confront the real financial issue with the club: the debt, the mismanagement of the club, and the crippling interest payments. The current atmosphere around the club and fan base is in the gutter. Nothing has changed. In fact, it is worse than it has ever been. The survey, which sought the views of supporters outside Old Trafford and the club's global fan base online, posed a series of questions. As well as disquiet over ticket price increases, the results also showed 92% of fans are unimpressed with the stadium atmosphere. Paul Pogba has hit the headlines again after his recent social media activity caused tongues to wag over a potential return to Manchester United. The Frenchman is unable to play until March after testing positive for the banned substance DHEA. Pogba left Juventus in November, just over 2 years after departing Old Trafford for the second time in June 2022. And any thoughts of signing him for a third time, even on a free transfer, would be disastrous for United on so many levels. Firstly, now aged 31 and past his prime, there would be serious doubts over his ability to compete at the highest level. United need more players who are fit enough to cover in midfield, with the Reds' glaring physical weaknesses being exposed in a seemingly endless amount of games this season. Most Premier League teams are fitter than Ruben Amorim's side, with the 3-1 defeat to Brighton a perfect example of this. Pogba would take time to get back up to speed, having not played a competitive game since September 3rd, 2023, for Juventus against Empoli. Waiting for him to get there is a luxury United cannot afford to have right now. There is also his Galactico status, something United should be looking to avoid after going down that damaging route under Ed Woodward. Pogba, along with several other big money deals, have arguably helped to put the Reds in their current PSR position of needing to sell to buy. Ineos have promised big changes to the first team at M16, but what message would it send if they signed a big name like Pogba? Even if his wages were not too high, it would still show the club has not learnt from previous mistakes. No one can deny Pogba's ability. France's 2018 World Cup win saw him play a starring role alongside Kylian Mbappe. But what would he bring a team in 2025? The negatives far outweigh the positives, and United must not get swept up by any clamours to bring him back under any circumstances. Former Lecce captain Fabio Lucioni has revealed he would have encouraged Patrick Dorgu to sign for Manchester United this month. Dorgu, 20, is closing in on a blockbuster move to Old Trafford after a reported £31.4 million fee was agreed. The versatile wingback is set to become the first signing of the Ruben Amorim era. He has made 57 appearances for Lecce since joining them from Danish side Nordsjælland in 2022 and has been capped 4 times by Denmark. Dorgu is recognised as one of the most talented defenders in Serie A, and United have moved fast to secure his services amid interest from Chelsea and Napoli. Dorgu is anticipated to sign a 5-year contract at United and would strengthen that left-hand side, with Diogo Dalot having played in that position over the last couple of weeks. It's an area that Amorim has wanted to bolster, and it's looking like he has got his man, although a deal has not yet been completed. From Dorgu's point of view, it's a move that is right for him, according to his former teammate Fabio Lucioni, who has reacted to the defender's proposed switch to United. He told TMW I would have already bought him a plane ticket. I say this in a positive sense, because he is a boy who has made an important journey in the youth sector. He has shown that he can compete in a higher level of football than the one you experience in Lecce, so it's right that he goes. Meanwhile, Dorgu's former boss in Denmark has offered some advice to Amorim on how to get the best out of his new addition. FC Nordsjælland technical director Alexander Garnacho spoke to Sky Sports, having brought Dorgu to the club many years ago. He said Patrick is definitely coachable. He is a very good listener. He is not a guy who speaks a lot. He is quite silent, and you have to be a little patient when you are asking questions because he is a thinker, so he needs to get started before he is going to say something.